Okay, we're already talking about how 2023 is going to look like, but it's a good moment to review 2022 with life and leadership coach. I'm going to walk up to him. Professor Gerald is with us. Welcome back. It's been a while.
Really long time.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to see you again.
Glad to see you, because we have a lot to ask you about things we need to think of as the year wraps up, and also how we need to project and plan. It could be that some people are already too late if you're projecting right now, but still, we can catch up with you and your advice. So first off, how has 2022 been for you as an individual?
Well, 2022 had been a very difficult year. In the sense that unexpected situations occurred, which actually became an opportunity for me to discover other dimensions of my potentials that gave me room to come up with creative ideas that empowered others. So it has been difficult, but it has been fruitful.
That's the way you just look at it, with positivity, like the glass half full instead of looking at it as half empty. But then let's get a little bit to those who are wondering. This is 2022. I had goals at the start, I didn't achieve any, and I'm now feeling frustrated. What are you going to tell someone like that?
Well, one of the things a lot of people have to understand is that whatever had been an experience which anybody went through, every experience is intended to build a dimension of capacity in somebody. There are things you desire to achieve now which you didn't achieve. It didn't make you a failure. It only built a capacity in you that will permit you to be more successful tomorrow. There is nothing that is intended to destroy anybody that happens around the person. In as far as nothing killed you, it made you better. And I believe that there are a lot of people who actually they had goals, but they were not fully prepared for it, because it's not desiring to achieve something, it's all about being prepared for it. And sometimes when we are not prepared enough and we are expecting to achieve results, we find ourselves failing, not because we are failures. There are some of the failing experience are indicators that our preparations were not equal to our expectation. And sometimes if we don't have somebody who can guide us with advice, we might be tempted to be so discouraged. A lot of people are feeling depressed, not because life is actually bad. It's just because there's nobody to guide them to understand that which they ought to do and how they can come out of the mess they find themselves in. In as far as your life, there is a possibility for you to bounce back and become better. And one of the things I've understood is that most of the great and successful people in life actually went through rough paths, and the discoveries on those rough paths made them highly great. Someone like Honda was a dropout from school. The educational system said he was good for nothing, but he started looking within him and his inquisitivity. He came out with a Honda machine, which today the whole world is benefiting from. Henry Ford was a dropout from school. He didn't finish university, but he came out with the automobile that is benefiting society. And some of the wrong concepts we have is that we have drives that we will never succeed in. Sometimes people have pushed us into believing that we will succeed where they succeed, but that's not the part we're meant to succeed in. And sometimes if we can have people can orient us, we can withdraw ourselves from certain paths which we have been assuming we can succeed in, and then redefine ourselves and then find paths which we're going to excel in.
You said something really important. Another thing I'll add to that is time zones. People define time zones like you're supposed to do this at this time. And then you feel frustrated if you don't fit into their vision of your time zone. So it goes in line with what you're saying about us living according to the guiles of other people. But then you also talked about preparation. I am thinking of a friend of mine I was talking to the other day, and she was like, I'm prepared. I'm so prepared, but I just can't seem to find the opportunities. What would you tell someone like that?
We have a lot of people who are expecting other people to make things happen for them. So they are waiting for opportunities to come through some people, which they, in quote, feel that they're the people who are positioned for that help. And sometimes when the people whom you're expecting to help you, or the people whom you expect they are the helm of leadership to support you, can't do that. It is placing a demand to your own leadership. Sometimes what you're expecting people to do to you that they are not actually doing, it is a sign they were not meant to do that to you. And sometimes you will never discover a particular ability in you until a challenging situation shows up. One man, my Smoro, said he went to visit his friend, and he entered the friend's compound, and there was a big mango tree inside the friend's compound. So appealing, he went to harvest it. A big German shepherd appeared. Woo! Out of fright, he found himself jump over the fence. And when he looked at the fence, he was taller than him. He asked himself, how did short me jump over the fence?
Yeah.
And then the voice told him, you are taller than who you think you are. You are bigger than who you think you are.
Yeah.
Some challenges have come to place an opportunity for us to discover certain potentials in us.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a particular problem that can come to help you discover that you can be a good marathon racer.
Right.
So some people are actually forcing themselves in things which they were not fashioned to excel in.
Point.
So some challenges come to show you and guide you to the real path you were meant to succeed.
Yeah.
Every challenge will cause you to think. When you are out of that busy schedule, obsessed to achieve something and it frustrates, you start thinking right now.
Yeah.
Look, in the case of, let's say, the Bible, Jonah wanted to go to Tarshish, but that's not where he had to succeed. So obstacles were in the ship. So he had to fall in the belly of the fish. He had to think and went out to Nineveh and succeeded.
You have that moment of isolation where you get to reflect. Another thing is prioritizing.
Yeah.
Some people don't know how to do it. For example, a new year is coming forth. There's so many things you want to do. You have so many ideas. You have so many abilities. But how to prioritize? How do we do that?
One of the first things which people must understand is that in every aspect of life which actually you want to excel in, look for people who have gone further than you for guide. You see, we have people who have gone further than us so that they can help us to get to where we can get to by ourselves. So we should look for people who can be mentors, advisors. Every successful person has an advisor around them. And when you don't have an advisor, look for one. And when you don't have a life coach, now you must be able to allow the happenings of life become your greatest teacher. Life on its own is a school, and if you don't learn from the teaching ministry of life, there is a lot which you will never be able to achieve. So many people who are very successful today were born in handicapped situation. So setting your priorities, never give yourself to anything which you know that you are not equipped for, because you're already failing. Each time you are positioned in an opportunity which your preparation is not equal to, you have already failed. You either become a problem to it or it becomes a problem to you. So prioritizing that which would cause you to excel. Look at the areas of your strength. Look at the areas where you, within the environment you find yourself in, you can be able to give your best. Because once you go in for what you are not capacitated for, you are frustrating yourself and bringing to yourself a big shameful atmosphere.
That's true. Okay, how can we beat distractions? I think we're going to wrap up with that. How can we beat distractions? Because you may have all of these abilities, you may be prepared, but then there's so many other things that come in the way. How can we stay focused throughout the year to our goals?
I want to advise a lot of people to get into a lot of studies.
Okay.
Because in studying, you will get personal orientation that will help you see people who had failed where you are trying to excel in, and you can be able to cushion yourself. I have actually published 104 books. The last time you knew me, you met with me, it was lesser than that because I'm working.
Okay.
So what would people do to get into 2023 and not be the same way they were in 2022?
Yeah.
What must people do to write a difference? Is it just to aspire to be great? You must look back into the track line of how 2022 began, the mindset you possess, the ambitions you had, the areas where you succeeded, the areas where you did not succeed. Find out what made you to succeed where you succeeded, and find out what made you to fail where you failed. And then readjust your priority, reinvent yourself, and bounce back and be different. Sometimes assumption is the biggest thing that has killed a lot of people. Never assume what you are not prepared for. And I would tell people we should also dare the undareable. Sometimes we're used to a particular path which has never worked for us. We should try something different.
Try something different. I agree. And it takes guts. It takes us audacity to be able to do that. And it's the audacity you've shared with us this morning. See, now that you've come back, just get ready. 2023, you come back to the show again, because there's a lot more. You listen to him. He has written so many books. We're going to tap from his wisdom as the days go by. But right now, it's a big thank you for being here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.